Hello YouTube, the Eye of Stone here. We're continuing the walkthrough of Thief the Metal Age. The mission for today is Trail of Blood. As usual, played on the expert difficulty level, but first I have an announcement to make. A lot of people have been asking me about it. There was a sale at the Steam store, so I went ahead and picked up Thief, that is Thief 4. I got the Master's Edition plus like a couple extra levels, whatever that means. I have no idea when I'll actually be able to play this game at all. Depends upon when I'm able to afford a new gaming machine. Hopefully before forever, but I'm not positively encouraged by what I've been reading about it. I will give it a shot, but people have been asking me about that, so I figured I'd address it. On to Trail of Blood. So where the heck are we? We know we need to be following this Trail of Blood. First time I played this level, I did not expect that the mechanists had actually scored a knockout hit on the pagans. That was baggage left over from how ineffectual the Hammerites were against the pagans in the first game.
You can have this. I don't need it anymore.
Come, Lily. Must we go?
His name's Dewdrop, and he doesn't like Satanists.
Lily.
I have to go now.
Never really invested in learning how to use Dewdrop. That's a very useful map. Now this is one of those situations where you'd love to wreck the mechanists for committing a war crime, but from a play perspective, there's no reason. There's no reason to go around killing everything in sight. Actually, this village is a great place to practice.
I knows it was here. I knows it.
Looking for this vile heathen?
My side. Gives it here.
Gladly, pagan. Gladly.
This is simply all about paying attention to where they are and what they're doing. You have to learn several roaming patterns. You can't just go around them. You have to go with them.
What carrot?
That was close. Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you don't. Hello.
Gets the children to the gathering place. Quickly nows.
This building is
Dragonfly flits about.
This building is troublesome. He's suspicious.
Is that thou, friend?
Uh-oh.
'Tis a coward's game you play.
But you can use the trees as a defense.
The sweet pingings of a boiler.
Well, that could have gone better. Could have gone worse, though. That building is always troublesome.
He ams the honeymaker,
He hams the jacksberry.
sits we down under his treesy roofs.
Eats we all of his leaves and gifts.
He feeders us.
They won't need that. Again, here's a situation where you're either going to play it stealthy or you're going to knock out everybody in the builder's creation. As Ridley Scott says, you have to slow it down. To slow the pacing down. And to repeat myself, the way to do that is to get at least a good idea of what everybody's roaming pattern is. Because you don't want to get rid of every single water arrow you have to create the black that you would need in order to be able to go around them. Case in point, this priestess is absolutely unnecessary to knock her out. Considering the close quarters, she's actually amazingly oblivious. But you just have to, you want to know what she's going to do on the other side of that bridge and how long she's going to be there before she turns around. Once you know what she's doing over there, you can follow her right across. This is what distinguishes Thief from a first-person shooter. Now you notice I have the blackjack ready in case something goes wrong. There's that reactionary gap where they're like, what the hell, and you can still knock them out and get away with it. Or if they get suspicious, you can hit them from behind. And you don't need but this tiny little corner of shadow, and she'll never see you. Alright.
These people didn't have a chance against the Mechanists.
Uh-oh. Now, let's go back to the Troubleville building. Okay, do you see that red thing? That red, rough gem? We need that. And this guy's going down. He was trouble before. He's not gonna be trouble no more. Maybe not. Okay. You know, I second guess myself. It's really not necessary to be a headhunter, bashing everybody's skull
For
in.
Karis' sake is the...
The gathering place.
Yes, I have seen it.
Well,
Wretched heathens.
contradicted myself
Allow them to pass.
yet again.
I couldn't.
I said it wasn't necessary to be a headhunter knocking everybody out, and then I just turned around and did it. But there was that guy behind the building, and I was going to go after him, but I didn't.
Thou speakest the truth. Let us wait.
It's all about feeling it out as you play. Spur of the moment decision. Try not to knock everybody out. Try not to decide to knock everyone out every single time you have the option to. But you want to explore this big building. You want to get at the speed potion and the noisemaker arrow. We don't need to knock out the guy behind the building to do that, but we probably do, because of the positioning, need to knock that guy out in the building. I mean, otherwise you have to waste a water arrow on that torch out there, and that still might not be cover enough. Don't want to waste a water arrow right here. This is one of those levels where resource conservation is a big part of it. There's a lot of temptation in this early part to...
Cease thy flutterings and show thyself.
Well, that was good. That was spectacular stealth. He won't find us. He'll calm down. There he goes. And even if he didn't, I have enough space to get away from him. It's okay. It's all okay. Now, that red gem we got, we need to find another one. We need 2 of them. That's how we get out of here. And I'm about to mess it up again, but she had her back turned, thank goodness. That was a little abrupt of me. We have to find that other gem. We can't get out of here without it. So now we have to go looking. I was hoping we would come across it by now, but this could probably end up taking a minute. Because again, we still have to stay hidden. And the gems are not usually easy. Let me rephrase that. They're not usually difficult to find. Unfortunately, I've already checked the easy places as we've been going along, and they're not there. So sometimes they're hidden better than others. It's one of those things where the level puts them in different places potentially every time it loads. Again, I was talking in the last video about the emergent quality of Thief, about the way it's programmed. There's a number of different places where those gems might be in a given load. So we have to go up there and look. I'm going to go ahead and invest in taking out that torch, because now I'm going to get impatient looking for that gem. I'm going to get sloppy. Can't do that. This lookout doesn't really tell you much, and it gives you a darn good chance of being spotted from the ground. But it's something to see. Now, that's not really... that's not good. I don't think I have to say much about what's wrong with this picture. Hide your unconscious bodies, because even if these mechanists have calmed down, maybe they were suspicious about seeing an incapacitated comrade lying in the plain sight. I ought to know better by now. That's okay. For whatever reason, they seem relatively placid. I seem to have gotten a day pass on that one. I could just as well have all of them looking for me. Now this structure here, we're going to use that to get out of here, but we need that other gem. It's not really worth going in there, although if memory serves, sometimes the other gem is on the far side of this building. Hidden by these rocks, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of jumbled. This is not a level I play often. It's an enjoyable level. It was, especially the first time I played it, it was great to go back to the Maw of Chaos. And I have a theory about this level that I've debated with a couple fellow Thief players. This is a portal right here. You place the gems in those eye sockets, and once you get both of them in there, it turns the face into a teleporter, which takes you to the Maw of Chaos. And as you play through this level, you go through the Maw of Chaos, and eventually you reach another forest through the Maw. This forest I take to be terrestrial, But the woodsy, I feel, can also be understood as kind of a magical, mystical realm.
What shadow passed my view?
Kind of a different plane, man.
'Twas surely just moss in mine eye.
It's like the woodsy, where Constantine and Victoria are, with a capital A. And, oh, there it is. You see? The red? Alright, we're just gonna get it. There we go. Okay. Now we're on our way out of here. Anyway, I believe that you go through the woodsy. You go through the Maw of Chaos, rather, to get to the woodsy proper. There's a terrestrial woodsy and a spiritual woodsy, and that's where you end up at the end of this level. I mean, I have debated this fiercely with people who, like myself, take it way more seriously, splitting hairs, but the game has that depth. If you want to be a geek and split hairs, you have fertile material. That's part of the infinite replay value of Thief. There's what they give you is highly detailed yet open-ended, so you can make it your own. And even if you don't, it's still a complicated thing. It's still a complicated story. It's a complicated thing. That's... Now, did you see that guy? He has a builder's child helmet on, so you can't knock him out. He has a metal helmet. She's the archer, and he's right behind her. Did you see that helmet? Don't try to blackjack him. You'll get a loud clang. And down we go. Now, the mechanists, emboldened by their raid on the village, seem to have tried to come down here. Big mistake.
Looks like I'm still on the right track.
There's the blood. So, trail of blood, you are always following the trail of blood in this level. Ha ha ha. As the Builder's children say, I have found dangerous conditions. You have to be careful down here. Mere human mortals don't tend to last very long. This is really there's a term called chthonic, which means underworldly, fantastic, and sort of demonic in a non-satanic way. And the Maw of Chaos in Thief is a really old-school interpretation of that. I mean, this isn't just a little creepy walking around all these eyeball flowers.
Is this the Maw? Looks different.
Of course, it would be in a state of flux, probably. There would be a degree of instability. Here's another mechanist. There may even have been some fighting down here, but... Now, do you see that giant plant on the right there? Keep your distance. Don't get too close to those. Don't try to do anything. It's really exquisitely done as a level at the time. And as far as I'm concerned, this holds up beautifully well. So, right now we're just exploring. We're not rushing. There is loot down here. You never pass up the opportunity, even in a level like this, to get the loot. So, we're gonna get at least some of it. There are resources by some of these, but you have to be careful. Eventually, we're gonna try to get to, oh, now you see him across there? It's a rat beast. Not a rat beast. In the second game, they're called the ape beasts. I don't know if you saw him. I didn't really stop to look. But, there are some denizens down here. You're not entirely alone. Eventually we're going to try to get up these stone passages, and we will reach the otherworldly woodsy that I was talking about a moment ago. Both in terms of the level design and in terms of the story, you just reach the maw of chaos, this sort of endless underworld where you'd best stay focused on where you're trying to get, because this is indifferent nature and your mortal frame will not long endure. The ape beasts are extremely annoying. As enemies, they aggravate me. They're so smug. But this is Thief at its most adventurous. I mean, I remember in the Dark Project, Into the Maw of Chaos, that was a trip. I had never played anything remotely like that. It was as strong an ending as Lord Bafford's Manor was an opening. I mean, back in, I came to Thief in 2000, in the summer of 2000, so Dark Project was hardly old at that point. And, 98 or 2000, big difference. Not really. Back then, just had no conception of what this was. Even learning what type of game it was a learning experience. But the point I'm making is that as different as Lord Bafford's Manor was, the Maw of Chaos at the end of the first game was as strong an outro as that had been an intro. Part of it's the dazzling visuals. Okay, there's some loot, and there's some more loot. Can't pull that one out for some reason. Part of it was the dazzling visuals, but it's just, whereas the point of Lord Bafford's Manor is to be stealthy and beat the level by stealth, here they really created the sense of, being lost in a game. Gameplay had previously been very linear. Okay, there will be blood. Let's see how my archery is holding up. I've sort of created a standard for myself. I need to, well, there's two of them. Maybe archery isn't the way to go. We're going to...
Man flesh here! Bloody spills!
Decided to do that close quarters because a missed shot would have made a lot of noise, and then I'd have had two of them after me, so at the last minute I decided to go close quarters, but that wasn't supposed to take 2 flash bombs. That was only supposed to take 1. Alright, you jump here, and arrow and more loot. And to reiterate from a second ago, there will be blood. I'm not gonna be humiliated by these aberrant ape beasts. I'm going to make a decent effort not to create a total bloodbath.
Easy, you, Heinz Plumsies. Them's Clumsy's mines.
No! Clumsy taker! Giving them backsies!
I eaters them's. Clumsy's all gone.
Now, you have to watch that will-o'-the-wisp because it goes around and it creates light, and then they can see you. But as I was saying a second ago, it's a battle for the Planet of the Apes. Something about these ape beasts, it's like chimps versus humans. I don't like the ape beasts. They just tick me off. But,
Something moves.
and the will-o'-the-wisp is about to get me killed. There's loot here. There's a lot of loot. You need to get at it. So what you want to do is you want to floss the edges of these various... they're not supposed to be rooms. The walls are supposed to just represent the limitless forest, the woodsy, and you're not going to stray too far from the treehouse. But you need to get right to the edges because there's a lot of loot in these areas. Now, there's 4 of them. There's the 4 seasons: summer, spring, winter, and fall. Fall, winter, rather. We are now in spring. So you just have to balance not getting seen from above or seen down here and getting to as much of the loot as possible. You know, again, part of staying in form is flossing every little corner, whether or not there's actually loot there. It's just a good habit. Now, to break into the treehouse, see, you have this patch of darkness here. He can't see you if you're here. You're right on the edge, but you're not over it. And down he goes. I refuse to apologize. This does not reflect poorly on me as a player. These guys are going down. Now, I'm going to play this one relatively conservatively. Is there a reason for me to go over there and go right up to him? Probably. Am I going to try to do a sleeping knockout? No. I'm going to take a pass. Again, try not to turn this into an utter massacre. There's plenty... It'll happen. It will happen. I will end up in a pitched battle. I can already sense it.
Who guards these winters?
None guards is it. For what's good gets that fars.
None's good.
None's good makes it.
Oh, one could make it. One's going to make it. We are now in summer, and you can see there he is. I'm going to give myself 3 chances to hit him. That's 1. Dope. That's 2. And that was 3. Told you I'd do it. Uh-oh. Okay. Here's where the battle begins. On expert, you really don't want to duel sword against claw with these guys because they're very strong, and an expert though will take you down in a hit or two. You can't bank on surviving 3 hits from these jerks. So, we're gonna use the bow. He's not calming down. There's been a fatality. I'm gonna have to fight through this. Well, we can cause another fatality. This requires timing. 2 of them at once is untenable. We're gonna have to go on the offensive. We have, he's got a dart, a blow dart. Well, those may be the sword, since he's not going to be fighting me with his claws.
Where's he go?
Now, he'll see me in pitch black. He's too spun up. We're going. I gotta...
You die now!
Return.
Damn your
As you can see, that almost killed me.
Here, brotherkin. Here.
Oh, no, you don't.
Come here, help me.
You will learn to sit. Music to my ears. Gosh darn it. I expect kudos for keeping the profanity under control. So now we are on the ground level of summer, and we are flossing for loot. And there'd better be a lot of it to make up for the use of health and... There we go. Is fruit are handy. So that's not so terrible, I guess. Again, always be on the lookout for resources, for items. Okay. Just about mined this area out. Kinda sorta good enough. On to fall. I guess that's a beehive. Charming. Dead rat. I'm not even... I don't know. Let's see how I do this. Again, this is close quarters. You don't have time to think. You don't really have time to plan. You either stealth it or you brawl it. Just pause a minute and give any roaming circuits time to complete.
Dark and quiet. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing now.
Something later. Alright. Since I haven't used any of them, I can go ahead and use them for this. Having conserved so far into the level, I'll go ahead and use some moss arrows. And we're down here with complete silence. It's worth, well, almost complete silence. Just goes to show you can't ever relax. I don't tend to use scouting orbs that much, but... So they're over there. I'm looking for any roamers. It helps to know exactly where they are. And it looks like they're both behind that campfire. Maybe there's one roamer.
Who's in there? Shifty shadows on empty.
Good enough. Already there's more loot. Well, Lord Gervasius will like that mask, and maybe you heard that ring. That was notification. If you get above a certain level of loot in this level, you get a little congratulations for getting so much loot in what the game calls hostile territory. So see, I'm not all bad. We managed to leave those guys alone. Now they can't get to us. They can't get up here. So they're going to be in no position whatsoever
Nobody's now.
when I skewer this. When I skewer that hominid. Too bad.
I seize things. Watch as you
You'd think those glasses would be worth anything, but they're not. Now, as to those envelopes, it's a dialogue between Victoria and Mosley. Not mission critical, so I'm not going to stop to do it.
I hope this guy doesn't run out of blood.
But if you're playing this level, you should stop and read those notes. They're scattered throughout the Four Seasons area. So, this is winter. There's the ice. The overall winteriness of this part of the level, there's something really primal and elemental about this, especially about winter. It's just so cold and dark and believable. It also reminds me of a level from Heretic, for all those old school gamers out there. This level reminds me of the Ice Grotto, which I believe is from the second episode. They don't really look much alike, but again, there's sort of just this primal natural quality. So yes, this is a lush level. This is an adventurous level. It's an exciting level. Probably should play it more often. So I'm just being thorough. Again, I do not mathematically memorize these levels. Every time I play this game, anytime I play a level, it's kind of like the first time. No matter how many times I've played them, and believe me, as I said, I started playing in 2000, that's 14 years. 14 years playing this game non-stop, but at the same time, it's like I haven't even finished it yet. So this 4 seasons sequence we've been through has been kind of surreal. But see, right here, to me, this is the Woodsy. And I think that when you interrupt the ritual Constantine was doing the first time you come down here, that this is where you were. You not necessarily right here, but at the end of the first game you just barely breached this area, whereas now we're kind of going deeper in. But for me, this is not terrestrial Earth, because we went through the Maw of Chaos to get here. So I don't think the Maw is just some wormhole to go from one place on Earth to the next. Now, you heard that grumble over there. You want to stay away from the smaller trees. They are tree beasts. They're faster than they look, and they will crush you. You can see one right over there, on the right and straight ahead. You just gotta keep your distance. So, there's the pagan. We have reached the end of this level. I will see everybody again soon for Life of the Party, a very large level. Once again, I was able to do First City Bank and Trust in one video, so I'm hoping to do Life of the Party in one video as well. Okay, see y'all later.